I call myself a junkie. I refer to myself as a junkie simply so I demystify it. I call myself a dope fiend because I'm a dope fiend. This is the addiction issue, but I mean, there are lots of forms of addiction in the universe. I was in a good, stable marriage, writing books for children that were bestsellers. I was getting more and more work and more fame and attention and adulation. I got more as my addiction got worse, not less. My high bottom made that denial much more pervasive because it was all working. It's not working because if you are asking yourself, can I stop this? Then you're in a prison of your own mind. And I was in that prison even though I was fabulous and all the bullshit part of show-off business. I had been nursing a secret Vicodin addiction for a very long time, over 10 years. Not one person knew except a Brazilian healer woman. She had been staying with us. And this was December of 98. I make dinner and buy all the food, make the dinner, and wrap the presents, and doing all my thing at Christmas time. And she was staying with us. And I was in my kitchen, and I had a pocket full of Vicodin. I had a glass of wine on the counter. It was 5 o'clock. I mean, it was just sort of like cocktail hour. And I pocketed 5 of them, put them in my mouth, took a swig of wine, and from behind me, I heard this. Jamie, I see you. I see you with your little pills, and you think you're so fabulous and so great, but the truth is you're dead. You're a dead woman. That was a first big, shocking realization that someone saw it, that it wasn't secret, that no one knew. Now it's January 1999, and there was an article in Esquire magazine called Vicodin, My Vicodin, written by a man named Tom Chiarella. And in the article, he describes outing himself by writing the article, that by writing the article, he knew his doctors wouldn't give them to him. He knew that his wife and family were going to be on to him. He was outing himself for a secret that he'd been carrying. And that spoke to me probably louder than anything else. All of a sudden, I went, oh, someone else is just like me. So by February, I went to a friend of mine, early February, and I went to a friend of mine, and we both had kids the same age, and I kind of like sidled up to her and kind of like, and finally, was able to say that I had a problem with Vicodin. And she looked at me and said, yeah, I know, me too. Isn't it amazing? And she gave me, at that moment, the number of a doctor who would write you script. Because prior to that, I didn't really get it from doctors. 5-finger discount, here and there. I had my ways. That night, when I woke up sometime between sleep and waking, I had a moment of clarity which saved my life, which is simply this. I imagined that she would die, and I would attend her funeral, and I would hug her children, and I would have blood on my hands. Or I would die, and she would attend my funeral, and she would hug my children with blood on her hands. And in that moment, I understood that it was going to kill me. And I called a friend of mine who was in recovery, an old colleague of mine, and I was terrified about being a public figure and walking into recovery centers and being around recovery, and I was terrified of it. And I said to my friend who was a long time in recovery, I said, is there any way somebody famous can meet me and go with me into a recovery room? And a woman called me, and I met her, somebody I'd never met, and she walked in with me, and I've been sober since that day. The beautiful part of being able to acknowledge your own illness, being an alcoholic, being a drug addict, to call yourself an alcoholic or a drug addict is a badge of honor, because the secret, the shameful secret, is the reason why it is such a pervasive illness in our industry, in every socioeconomic strata, in every country in the world. It is the secret shame that keeps people locked up in their disease. I'm sober today. Am I going to be sober for the rest of my life? I hope so. I'm going to do everything I can to be. But I'm saying I am an addict, and I am in recovery, and I work a hard, good program, and I pay a lot of attention to it, but it's a pernicious disease. I've broken ribs twice last year, and I had to take the very drug that I loved. I was required to take in order to be able to exist, but I did it in a very carefully, very prescribed, very monitored way with a lot of contact. And there was no secrecy. I wasn't hiding it. It was out. The bottle was on the counter. My husband was like, everybody knew. You know, that's a big change for me. But I mean, I'm an addict, so I'm in recovery. I'm not recovered, never will be, but I am working on it.